And we are live.
We are
Coming to
live.
you live.
We are Saturday night live.
live.
Trademark.
Yeah, you reckon that might be trademark?
Trademark, yo. But we are also live on a Saturday night, which is way cool.
Yeah.
We don't often do Saturdays, but we are doing Saturday tonight.
And the irony is I am coming to you live from New York.
And the irony is that I'm coming to you live from a house that seems still trapped in the 80s.
I'm waiting on Mike Brady to go dashing by.
Yeah, well, at least we've got the boxes aspect of the show covered, don't we? Right? Don't we?
The what?
The boxes aspect, you know, all of the Brady Bunch boxes that happened before the show. You know, here's a story of a man named Kenny.
No.
He was busy. Sorry,
No,
I was trying to make it
no.
rhyme rhythmic. Wow, I set you
No,
up like a
no,
time
Kenny.
bomb, didn't I?
You guys killed Kenny.
We might be a little bit sensitive about that. I'm just saying.
Nobody calls me Kenny.
Well, listen, it doesn't rhyme though. Here's a story of a man named Ken. You know what I mean? You got to get the E part.
Dude.
Okay, then I'll change it and I'll go for Glenny. Here's a story of a man named Glenny who was busy having a career of his own until one day when he met a man named Ken. Right.
Oh man, our
Who
numbers
threw
are
him
falling.
who threw him a bone? Da, 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 da. I'll sit down and write it out. And we'll sing it together.
Yeah.
Happy Saturday, everybody.
Happy Saturday. Weldon, Larry, Kellen, Ann is in the house. Doug Kuzma, Corey Calvin is here. So, dude, we have a special guest in the waiting room or in the green room.
We do.
Eating all of our oars, the ovaries.
We do, because frankly, you know, Saturday nights for the last 7 months have been largely different because many Saturdays are filled with a concert.
Yeah.
Many Saturdays say, you know what, why don't we go to a concert? So-and-so's in town. Or maybe you even catch a plane and fly to the city where they're playing. But
Nashville, for example.
For example, por ejemplo, as we say in the Spanish language. But we, instead of you having to fly to Nashville
right
tonight, we're going to bring Nashville to you.
We are
live.
That's right.
Live.
Live.
Who can do that better than us, Ken?
I think we can do it, man.
I don't think there are a lot of people who can do it better. Nobody does it better. You know that song?
I unfortunately do.
Hey, I want to give a sincere shout out before we bring our special guest on.
Yeah.
And say that growing up, I was a huge, not to be confused with big, I was a huge Helen Reddy fan. And Helen Reddy passed away this week.
Oh.
I have been showing her clips to my class, my students, and I will be showing more now posthumously this coming Monday and Tuesday in the class, because at that time there was no awareness of her being ill. I've just always been a fan. And for some reason, I've spent the last month of my life kind of fangirling on Helen Reddy and watching endless clips. And here's what I don't want to get into a deep thing on this tonight because we have a special guest, but I do want to get into a thing on it, Ken, which is that I do hold the fervent belief that when we're dialed in, the more deeply and the more intimately we are dialed in to what I call that special voice, the whisper within all of us, I do believe that that whisper is broadcasting 24/7, 365. That's its nature.
Yeah.
And as we still ourselves to listen to that whisper, we will hear broadcasts in advance of others. And not unlike a dog hears certain sounds before humans hear it.
Yeah.
Because they're dialed in more deeply, and they will hear sirens from further back. We will still hear those same sirens, but we don't hear them until they're closer up. I think the same is true of spiritual broadcasts. So that being said, for reasons that are amazing, I started getting a broadcast about an urgency in connection with Helen Reddy. This is not a story about me. This is a story about a voice within. And I went, you know what? I want to listen to Helen. And I started listening to everything she was doing and playing it on YouTube and noticing updated videos of her from way back in the day when she was in her late 20s. She moved to New York, right? So it wasn't Los Angeles. She went from Australia, where she was a national hero, to have a career, and she landed in New York because she was promised a record deal, and she arrived with $230 and a child.
Whoa.
$230 and a child. And this story gets better, only to discover, and this is all tying into our guest tonight, but she does not have a child. Our guest does not, but $230
that she's aware of.
I'm just kidding. Typically, women would be more aware of having had children than men might. Just saying that. We're going to break for sex education, and we'll be back after these words from our sponsors. Thanks for watching the Ken and Glenn Show. But she arrived in New York City with $230 in her pocket. I've been studying her all month with no awareness that she was dealing with anything. I'm just a fan.
Wow.
So I spent this whole month of September devoted to Helen Reddy, and it was all spontaneous. I just started thinking about her. And because I know me and my tendencies, as I was thinking about her, I did have this thought, and I'm admitting this to you. Well, you and I never talk about what we're going to talk about. So
no,
I am admitting to you that as I started thinking this, I couldn't help but wonder, is something getting ready to happen to Helen?
Really?
I truly did, because, and I mean, if you visited my classes, you heard me playing these. And if you didn't, you can ask any of my students. But why am I all of a sudden, I have to hear all of her music? And the deeper I got into it, I then went on a search to see if I could find out if anything was going on with her medically.
Wow.
Like, for starters, is she still alive? And the answer was yes. She's 78 years old. But let me jump back in time. Here she is in her mid-20s. She travels from Australia to New York City. She arrives with $230 and a child, as I said. But here's the part I had not gotten to yet. She only went to New York because she was promised a record deal. She got to New York and found out there was no deal.
Oh, geez.
Hello. Welcome to show business. Hello. Maybe it's time to dig deep and find out what we're made of in terms of our own resourcefulness, because that's a hell of a move from Australia to New York City with a child and very limited cash.
I'll bet she wasn't ready for that.
Yeah, you're only going because you have a deal, and now you have no deal. And this is, once again, life inviting us to dig deep and find out what we're made of. So that being in mind, if I may have the honor of introducing our guest this evening.
Yes.
We have with us the lovely Catherine Hill. We know her as Cat Hill. Musically, someone who I ran into in Nashville 2 years ago when I was there shooting a movie just over 2 years ago, and was immediately smitten with her music and with her nature, with her gentle and loving manner. I love good people. That's what it comes down to. And then every so often you'll see an outstanding one come down the pike, what fishermen refer to as a keeper.
Yeah.
And to me, Kat was a keeper. And we began cultivating a beautiful friendship. And I've had a chance to watch her as she continues to grow and evolve as a human being and as an artist. And we just want to throw out some love her way. And many of you know Kat. You've heard us talk about her. She also watches our show. She is based in Nashville. And we're just going to bring you some Cat Hill music tonight, and hopefully even talk about whatever she wants to talk about while she's playing. And with that in mind, let's put our hands together and welcome Kat Hill. We're going to applaud on behalf of all of the other people who we believe are applauding at home.
Thank you.
Welcome to the Ken and Glenn show on a Saturday night, Kat.
Well, thank you. It's an honor to be here with two amazing, wonderful people who I'm so blessed to have in my life. And I was trying to light a light. It was not the right moment for my lighter not to work. Oh, it's not.
Lean up a little bit.
Lean up a little. I can turn it up there. I can testify
There.
that.
Now we're talking.
There we go. That Glenn has been playing Helen Reddy, and this is a little story that it shows you how, I would say, evolved you are, Glenn. You know, he was playing me the song she wrote, "I Am Woman," right?
Yes, and this, by the way, is for Helen. May her spirit burn eternally, and I mean burn brightly, not burn, but burn brightly. May she continue to shine, moving forward throughout eternity as she did in this world. Right. And I truly mean that. God bless you, Helen. And thank you for your visit here. Thank you. Go ahead. Tell us the story.
Well, that was not the right moment for my lighter not to work.
That's why I had your butt covered by having matches.
That's what friends are for. No, I was just, we were on Zoom and you were playing me some Helen Reddy because I wasn't totally familiar with who she was. And I just remember looking up and you were singing "I Am Woman," like with everything you had.
Right.
And I just thought, there's my evolved buddy. So
yeah, well, I'm in touch with the feminine spirit that resides in me.
I know
it's not only male. We are different parts of each, and I embrace that. And I really loved who she was. I loved her music, and she wrote a lot of hits that people don't know about. But here's the beautiful thing. She has granted herself eternal life on the earth plane. Mm-hmm. We can leave the other up to God, but on the earth plane, we leave a mark or we don't. Right. It kind of comes down to that. And so there is a point in our lives when we begin giving time and energy to our legacy. What is it that will continue to live on once we're gone? And if people are still singing your music when you're gone, I think you've done your job as an artist.
Right.
It's beautiful.
And fulfilled your purpose while you came here, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's a song, Delta Dawn, that she sang. And there is specifically, you guys can go to YouTube and look up Delta Dawn, the version she's singing with Glenn Campbell. And one of the lyrics, which really pops based on the mile marker, because now she joins Glenn in having moved beyond this lifetime. And the line is, to take you to his mansion in the sky.
Mm-hmm. I know every word of that song.
So all of a sudden, that pops at a deeper level for me. And I watched that the other night and I cried.
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm very emotional right now as I think about it, because when we're conscious of a mansion in the sky, whether we take that literally or metaphorically, we operate differently. We operate differently when we're playing a larger game, and we are conscious of leaving our mark. And we're also conscious of who we leave our mark upon, and what kind of mark did we leave? Do we feel good about the mark we left upon another or upon the world? So you're leaving your mark, and we love your spirit. And here's Jeff saying Helen Reddy was such a great soul. I spoke with her. Oh, wow. And was captivated. Yeah, Jeff does a tremendous amount of radio. So he must have, I'm guessing he may have interviewed her. I spoke with her and was captivated by her spirit, more so than the person sitting in front of me. You could feel her essence.
That's awesome.
Congratulations on embracing that opportunity, Jeff.
Yeah.
Can you shed some more light on that, brother? Was that in a radio interview, or what was that when you met Helen Reddy? And what year was that in?
Wow. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. All right. Well, Kat, that being said, you're here. and you're
Yeah.
alive,
She is.
and you're still leaving your mark. So live from Nashville,
Here we go.
treat us to some of your music.
Well, I thought I would start with this song because this song wouldn't exist without you. And it is about the importance of finding your gift in life and sharing that, whatever that may be. Because why else are we here, right? And how that uplifts others when we are aligned with that. And the backstory is, remember, Glenn, he called me one night and said, "Hey, watch this and let me know what you think." And it was that Denzel Washington video that I know you shared with your students about finding your gifts and like, what else is the point, right? Like, why are you wasting any time, right? You don't want to look back and realize that you missed the reason why you're here. And you talk a lot about the whispers of your soul. Well, so I watched the video and wrote this song, and this song wouldn't exist without you. And it's called Your Gift.
Beautiful.
What's it called?
Your Gift.
Okay.
Your Gift. If you listen to your heart, you'll know. Might be hidden in the whispers of your soul. They say everybody has one. If you're alive, some people find it when they're younger. For others, it might take a little longer. It's the thing that makes you were born to do in this life. You've got a gift to give. It's the thing that makes you want to live. What gets you out of bed in the morning every day. You've gotta give it all you've got. Some call it your gift from God. So if you're 25 or 42, you know what you gotta do. Find your gift. And it doesn't even matter what it is, as long as it brings you bliss. Could be baking pies, or could be saving lives, or could be writing songs like this. So whatever it is you've been dreaming about, it's time you finally let it out. 'Cause you've got a gift to give. It's a thing that makes you want to live. What gets you out of bed in the morning every day. You've gotta give it all you've got. Some call it your gift from God. So if you're 33 or 62 or 81 or 17 or anywhere that's in between, find your gift. Find your gift. Find your gift. And if you listen to your heart, you'll know.
Beautiful, 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 beautiful.
That's awesome.
Oh, thank you, Kate. Can you guys can hear me okay?
Oh, it's beautiful.
We can hear you.
May I just say one thing? I
You
feel
can say three things.
well, I'll say a bunch of things. I'm expressing my gratitude for the two of you, because I feel like there are people who come along and see you for a greater version of yourself, and sometimes that helps you become the person you intend to be, or help you expand the ways that you think,
Yeah.
help you expand what you feel is possible for yourself. And I just feel like I wanted to take a moment to acknowledge you both, and just in terms of what inspiring people that you are, and you do help people change their lives, and you inspire me on a daily basis, both of you. So from my heart, thank you.
Received. Thank you, honey.
Thank you.
And you're entirely welcome.
Let's see what Jeff says.
Go ahead and read that one, Ken.
When I was at ABC Radio, I believe it was in 1996, it was one of the most amazing interviews, quite spontaneous and real. When she spoke, I remember stopping internally to listen to her voice speak. It was in tune with another level of genuine. You knew every word was from somewhere deep. It was wonderful. Wow. That's awesome.
I'm curious, Jeff, if you still have that interview, if you have that anywhere. Hello, Yasmin.
There's Yasmin in
She's,
Chicago.
Yeah, she's in Chi-Town tonight.
Wow.
She's
She's
up
a
there for a few
globetrotter.
days with her family.
Nice.
We send our love to you and your
Love
crew
Yasmin.
up there. To your
She's-
mom, to your hubby, to your
Yeah.
kiddos, to everybody.
Yeah. So, Cat's in the cradle in the silver spoon.
I'm doing dinner theater tonight.
Dinner theater.
I am. I have a little dinner, and you're providing the entertainment. I love it.
It wouldn't be a Saturday night if Glenn wasn't eating live on air.
Yeah, a lot of people who tune in, just what will Glenn eat tonight?
Right. Right.
I want to say hello to Scott Ricard, who said hi to me. Hello, Scott.
Hey, Scott.
Appreciate the hello.
Oh, he said hi to me too. So I should acknowledge him as well. Hey, Scott. Thanks for being here.
I just want to point out that he did not acknowledge us in incorrect order. He acknowledged us correctly, which was you first. And
I have top billing.
And that's the reason I'm sure it was done.
Well,
I certainly don't want to allow myself to believe that you're more significant, but I think he looked at the billing and went, I think it's correct that I acknowledge Ken first.
and Ken also has the power to just take you out of the picture. So.
And he uses it. He uses it. Rest assured. Play another tune for us, and if you would give us give us some stories about where you were, when you wrote it, what happened, what it means to you. Anything you want to share to connect the dots for those of us who don't know the backstory to your songs.
Yeah, well, one of my favorite things about living in Nashville is I got to become friends with some amazing songwriters who, when I moved to town, had been writing songs as long as I was alive, so I really learned what a real songwriter is being in Nashville. And sometimes my friends would just send me songs as soon as they got written. And I just think for me, it's like just a joy and a special gift to get to hear a song when it's first written. And sometimes my friends send me songs that, no one's ever heard, but they just become my songs. And this is an example of one of those songs, because I feel like songs are like prayers, and they, it's like magical. What you were saying about how the lyric means something to you later in life. The song you were saying, Helen's song just has more meaning now. And I feel like songs are like that, or you hear the right song on the radio and it just speaks to you at the right moment. So this song is called The Prayer of a Song. I want to touch a life, open up a closed mind, use my time to change a heart, bend a broken wing, help an old sinner think, show the weak just how strong they are. That's the prayer of a song. Born in the middle of the night, it can call the angels down, turn this world around. That's the prayer of a song. I wanna start the dance, sing about a second chance, be the soundtrack to happiness. I wanna tear down walls, make that runaway call, help a father to forgive. That's the prayer of a song. Born in the middle of the night, it can call the angels down, turn this world around. That's the prayer of a song. Bless my words and music, give me a voice to use it. That's the prayer of a song. Born in the middle of the night, it can call the angels down, turn this world around. That's the prayer of a song. If you hang on every word, you're the lucky one who's heard the prayer of a song.
Right on.
Digging it. Right
I love your fire. My goodness gracious. You know, it's interesting here on the Ken and Glenn show. When you're amazing, we just throw you right into the fire.
I dig it. No,
That's awesome.
no time like the present.
That's awesome.
What are two of your favorite like musical memories or concerts you went to, or do you have any moments like that?
Go ahead, Ken.
My first one was Rush in 1984.
Oh wow.
Exit stage left. So if you could do me a favor and play Tom Sawyer, that would be great.
Yeah, I'll be right back. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, she may not play Tom Sawyer, but I know she'll play a little Tom Petty.
Oh,
Tom Petty.
Yeah, we like Tom Petty.
I
And
like
of course,
Tom Petty.
I had the privilege, you know, Jeff did an interview with Helen Reddy. I had the experience of working multiple times with Tom Petty because Tom Petty used to be one of the voices of King of the Hill. And so I've had a number of times when Tom was sitting to my immediate right when we did the read through right before we went into the studio to voice record.
Wow.
So we sat and did the table reading, and Mike Judge, who, you know, created the show and had the primary voice in the show, Mike would voice in from Texas, from the Austin area, and his voice would be on this big speaker in the center of the table. And then all of the other artists who lived in Los Angeles at the time would be around the table. And then we would go in to record. So I spent a lot of time with Tom Petty. And so to now listen to my buddy Cat play music, I mean, it's the way these dots connect. They're just beautiful, you know? Well, I think in order for us to track the connection of dots in life, just a general theme, we have to share who it is we are, and we have to share what it is we've experienced, because otherwise we don't see the divinity in it all. We can't find how it all finds a way to come together in this beautiful, ornate, eternal puzzle. And I think that's what it is. I think that we're living out a master plan of puzzle pieces coming together. And when you understand that, you realize that your job, the full extent of your job, is to do your part. And part of doing your part includes being of service, which includes helping others grow into doing their part. because sometimes people lose their way along the way. And if we can remind others, not teach, remind others of their specialness, then they step deeper into their legacy. I've seen this time and time again. So I saw Elvis Presley play in when I was about 11 years old, 1970, at the Astrodome.
Wow.
And he was actually playing at a rodeo. So
Wow.
It was not an Elvis Presley concert. It was a big national rodeo. And Elvis was the show in between. And it was wild to see him cruising around the Astrodome on a moving stage that everybody got to see up close, because he went around the perimeter and gave everyone a front row seat. Each section had their own Elvis front row seat for a while. And I was 11 years old, which was pretty cool.
That's awesome.
That's amazing. I mean, that's like seeing the Beatles or something.
Yeah.
You know.
And that was the beginning of a decade that forever changed music. I still to this day, and not just because I was alive at that time, I think that the music that came out of the 60s and 70s, there was something extraordinary and superhuman about those 2 decades musically. Yeah. Certainly we still have great artists today, no doubt about it. But what I'm most impressed, honestly, with younger people about is the ones who appreciate music. They don't only appreciate this generation's music, they too are fond of the music from the 60s and 70s.
Don't even get me started on that topic, or we'll have a whole other show. Because, you know, I when I first started getting into it, when I really got into music, it was like that movie Almost Famous, where I don't know if you saw that movie, where the older sister gives the younger brother the record.
Oh, I saw that movie. I loved the movie.
Yeah, and it just like blows his mind open. But so as soon as I started discovering all that music on those, I was just like, had to understand why was it this time. But there's just so much, and those set of circumstances won't occur again. Like you won't have Elvis, you won't have the Beatles again, and just like the cultural change that happened. It's just like, I mean, I just feel like there's so much in that music too. And if you're interested, there's a cool documentary on Netflix that it was the anniversary of Woodstock in August, and there's a cool documentary on Woodstock on Netflix if you want to watch it. But one cool part in that, where this gentleman was talking, he was saying that gathering, people realized that there were so many people that were of the same mindset, you know, and so the lyrics were a way to communicate with everyone, and nobody realized how many of you there were. And
is it called Woodstock? Because I'm wondering if I've already seen it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's called.
Yeah.
I think so.
Has it been on Netflix for a while?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. I think you're actually the one that turned me on to it.
Good chance.
And I loved it.
Good chance. Well, I know I'm preaching to the choir there, but you know, and being from someone who didn't grow up in that time, it's like I would ask myself a lot, like, am I missing something? But I really do feel like there was something in that music, you know.
There was, I mean, some of the bands that came out, Journey, Foreigner, Styx, The Who, and I'm talking just rock right now, but like The Who. I mean, if it weren't for The Who, I don't think CSI Miami or CSI would have ever made it. Their song is what made that show.
Absolutely. Jeff says, when people say the music of the 60s and 70s are old school, I usually correct them and tell them, no, that was the school.
Right.
That was the school.
I'm gonna have
I have an offshoot of that, Jeff, which is when people talk about old school with me, I say that I've now officially been long enough to where the expression old school when I was younger, it was just called school.
Exactly.
Read that one.
Yeah. The Doors and Hendrix. I wasn't a huge Hendrix fan. I like some of his stuff, and obviously he could make a guitar do anything.
Yeah.
Just wasn't really my jam. But yeah. I mean, all along the Watchtower, there was some from the 60s and 70s. I mean, my gosh, so much amazing music.
And
I,
a lot of, I was just gonna say, a lot of the artists that came out of that time are still like Jimi Hendrix is still the definitive guitar player, really. I mean, a lot of guitar players look up to him as the ultimate hero, guitar hero, right?
Clapton, Eric
Yeah.
Clapton.
how about Stephen Stills?
Yeah, yeah.
Sure.
You know, I played Stephen Stills this week in class, Kat, if you remember,
I do.
where he was in divine Zen-like oneness
Yeah.
with his guitar, and everyone else just sat in utter amazement. And when he was done, it truly was my favorite kind of standing ovation, which is the kind that looks as though the chairs were spring-loaded, and it fires the audience up out of their chair. There is none of this one at a time. They get up and the others look and go, yeah. If you're going to stand, then I'm going to go ahead and stand. And so it's the requisite courteous standing O, but this is it should be called a leaping ovation.
Leaping ovation.
A leaping ovation. Yeah, it's good. So bless us with something else, would you do?
Hey, I do want to point out something that Jeff says here. They used creativity in the lyrics, and they really did. They really told us. They everything told an amazing story. They took you on a journey.
For sure. I mean, one person to me who did that very well was Joni Mitchell. I mean, she wrote that song, Woodstock,
Yeah.
and she didn't even go. So what does that tell you?
So we're giving you guys a chance to have Nashville in your living room because Kat is playing from her living room in Nashville live. And we know that many of you have yearned for a concert. It's been a long time since you've sat down and enjoyed a concert. So enjoy our concert.
Yeah.
Just put those old records off the shelf. I sit and listen to them by myself. Today's music ain't got the same soul. I like that old time rock and roll. Won't go to hear 'em play a tango. I'd rather hear some blues or funky old soul. There's only one sure way to get me to go. Stop playing old time rock and roll. Still like that old time rock and roll. The kind of music just soothes my soul. I reminisce about the days of old. I like that old time rock and roll. Call me a relic, call me what you will. Say I'm old fashioned, say I'm over the hill. Today's music ain't got the same soul. I like that old time rock and roll. Still like that old time rock and roll. The kind of music just soothes my soul. I reminisce about the days of old. I like that old time rock and roll. Still like that old time rock and roll. The kind of music just soothes my soul. I reminisce about the days of old. I like that old time rock and roll. It just seemed like the right time to play that.
You had me dancing.
Glenn was dancing.
I was grooving. I was shaking my groove thing.
Kind of music just soothes my soul. I reminisce
About the days of old.
Still like that old time
Rock and roll.
rock and roll.
There's a time delay on this, depending. So I know it's tough for us to sing in sync, but we sure do when we're in person, don't we?
We do. We do.
Hello, John. Old buddy of mine from many, many moons ago in Southern California. John Sorcy just said hi. Hi, John.
Hey, John.
Nice to
Thanks for
see
being here.
you here.
Darla says, wow. Darlene says, wow, wowza.
I don't
That's
know
all.
that. I'm just kidding.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Nice.
Give us another tune, Kat.
Yeah. Well, Glenn, you were saying something about,
Tom Petty.
well, in Canadians, I was thinking Harvest Moon. We had a Harvest Moon the other night. And
Oh, we love Neil.
I'll get there, but just what you were saying about helping people become more themselves. You said something about that.
Yes.
I have a song about that, and I'll tell you a little story on how this one was written. I was out having Indian food with a friend of mine because song ideas can come from anywhere, And he was just talking about how one of the things he loves in life with working with people is when they start to see themselves with the love that you hold for them. And that I went home and I thought, well, that's just a really beautiful thing to say, to think for somebody. So I wrote this song, and it's called If You Could See You. So send it out to somebody that you love.
One of my faves. I love this song.
Looking at you, I gotta say, you're so amazing in so many ways. If you could only see what I can see, then you would have to take it from me. If you could see you through my eyes, you'd see someone with so much beauty inside. You'd find a love that can't be denied. If you could see you, if you could see you, if you could see you through my eyes. I know you've got your list of reasons, all those things you say you're working on, but I gotta tell you, from where I sit, you wouldn't find one damn thing wrong. If you could see you through my eyes, you'd see someone with so much beauty inside. You'd find a love that can't be denied. If you could see you, if you could see you, if you could see you through my eyes. Caterpillar to a butterfly, all angels have wings to fly. So sure as the sky is blue, deep down you know it's true. If you could see you through my eyes, you'd see someone with so much beauty inside. You'd find a love that can't be denied. If you could see you, if you could see you, if you could see you through my eyes. If you could see you, if you could see you, if you could see you through my eyes. Thanks, you guys.
I am toasting you with the Ken and Glenn official mug.
All right. official Ken and Glenn swag.
That's right.
Merch.
Merch.
Look at Ken's face. He's always so happy. Look at him.
I am.
Yeah. Right on.
No other way to be.
If you could see you through my eyes. I love the lyric.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Because sadly, people often stop and form their own opinions of seeing themselves through their own eyes. And if they could just jump outside of their bodies and hop into someone else's and look back at themselves through those lenses, it would be a different take on themselves.
I think the really cool part is, like, she's writing her own songs and her own music, and it's good. It's really, really good.
You have a lot of people saying that you're raising their energy. Phil said, "Thank you so much, Kat. Brilliant. It's raising my energy."
Awesome.
Jeff sent me a text. He said, "Brother, this is how I breathe. I love music." This is not even on the internet. This is just him telling me, I love music and the impact and the healing that it brings to people.
Yeah. It's awesome.
I mean, that's what music does for me, and it just means so much to me to know that I can. It's been my intention or hope that I could do that for others with music. So to hear that that's the result, it fills my heart. So thank you, as well.
Yeah, he went on to say that he is grateful that he had lived through what he considered to be the best era of music. So that's really, really beautiful.
I can't argue that. I mean, I feel like it just was for so many different reasons. I feel like there was a renaissance, like an artistic renaissance, and like rock and roll happened. And then we could do a whole other show on this, like
it's an endless parade of names, parade, you know?
And just like following what the different influences were at different times that sparked like the Byrds with their 12-string doing Mr. Tambourine Man and folk rock, like boom, Anyway, I digress, or maybe not. But I'm just fascinated by how everything was influenced, and then just the amount of artists who hung out together in Laurel Canyon in LA, and the cross pollination, if you will, right?
Didn't we go see Laurel Canyon together? I think we did. I think we went to see that, and it was about all the artists that lived up in the canyon during that stretch.
Right. So can you imagine being like going up, to like Joni's house or Jackson Brown's house and being like, hey, this is what I just wrote. And I feel like that environment would be very inspiring. Like if you had kids around the corner and you're like, all right, well, I got to write a really great tune because we're going to go play songs. Like,
yeah, we went to that little indie house in Nashville.
Yeah. Called the Belcourt.
Yeah, the Belcourt Theater.
The Belcourt Theater.
We'll have to go back when I get back to town and do that.
Yeah.
How about a little fellow Canadian and little Neil Young?
Little fellow Canadian-y. Sure. Well,
Ken can't help himself whenever someone says anything, and when he finds out from Canada, he adds a.
I want to that song you just did, and I'm sure Yasmin is still watching because she's just like that. She's that kind of a fangirl. I'm kidding. I love Yasmin, but that song you just did, it took me back to when she was on my show and what she said when she said I felt like in that moment the outpouring of love that I forget exactly how she said it, but it was.
I remember what she said. She said she felt like she mattered to people.
She mattered. Right. Yeah. And that's, I think that's what all of us really, truly desire is we want to feel like we're making a difference. Like we matter.
Yeah.
That's why I love that song.
Well, there's this mysterious assignment to spend time on this blue ball. And at the end of the day, I think it is probably the most common quest, which is the quest for significance.
Yeah.
Of any kind, of just the kind that keeps the world from not noticing that you were here. When your dance ends, I don't think there's anything worse than the horrifying thought that you paid a visit and nobody noticed. Nobody cared. And I don't think it's about global significance, but I think it's about touching someone. It's about leaving an imprint on the world itself.
Yeah.
Touching someone so that you do live on in this lifetime, having favorably influenced another. Hopefully, I mean, in a perfect world, you will be remembered for those you favored and not those you harmed.
Right.
So
people feel.
Yeah, play on, my dear.
I will. I was just thinking of what you said. I think in a simplistic way too. It's like I feel like a lot of things just stem from a lack of love. Like people just want to be loved, and I think that's the same as mattering. And if you think about it on a small scale, like sometimes when you go out and you just extend someone some kindness who maybe wasn't expecting it, and it just changes their day. I know that's happened for me on the opposite end of that.
Look at Yasmin. Did I hear my name?
That sounds like.
And speaking of the quest for significance,
she's like, enough of this music stuff. Can we just talk about me?
Did I hear my name? I'll write that.
Well, thank you, Brad.
Brad,
Thank you, buddy.
Liam.
He says it perfectly too.
He does.
The quest for significance. Well, I was thinking I would just play this song here that I just recently learned. Speaking of songs that I feel lift your vibration and make you feel like, it's just an example to me of how songs can make you feel love. I was
Sure.
asking a songwriter friend of mine like what his favorite song was, and he said this one, and I just thought it would be a good one to learn. What were you going to say?
Before you strike up the music in this next song, I want to encourage others to do us all a favor, would you please, and share this out. A lot of people have not had a chance to have nice Saturday evening concert in a long time.
Right.
And it's 11 o'clock here in the Central Zone. It's now after midnight where Ken is, but wherever you are, and some of you, it's really early. It's like 9 p.m. on the West Coast. But share this out, would you? And let's get a bunch of people in here just enjoying some of these tunes. Kat's just an amazingly gifted artist. And we've got 3 people who know each other here, along with all of you who know us, and we know you, and we love and value you. So many of you, whenever Ken and I go live, you just jump on, and we so appreciate that.
Kellen just shared it out. Thank you, Kellen.
Yeah. So just share it out. Let somebody
So did
know what's
Scott.
going on right now.
Ricard, thank you.
We're
Thank
adding butts to the seats, Kat.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is a song I just recently I'm learning, and it's just an example of welcome to this edition of Songs to Make You Feel Good. And if you, wherever you are, if you want to sing along, because we can all feel that good vibes coming this way.
And let us know you shared it out, guys, if you would, so we can see a lot of shares.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue and clouds of white, the bright blessed day and the dark sacred night, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? And they're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry, I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Thank you.
Woo!
Wow. That was beautiful.
That was nice. That was nice. That was nice. I'm just going to let you know that my friend Jay, who I think you know Jay, does the weather in Knoxville, Tennessee. And he's like, tell her that's nice.
Thank you
It's so
much.
nice.
Thank you. Tell me.
Wow.
I hope it made you feel real good.
It was beautiful.
That was
There's Robert. It wouldn't be a complete experience without Robert Brooker. And I know Robert loves your music, Kat.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so
He's
much.
like so many of us, a true fan of yours.
Thank
beautiful.
And the numbers are growing. So thanks for sharing it out.
Yeah.
you. Just that song to me is an example of the power of music. You know, it just instantly brings goodness. You know.
Yep.
So
It does.
I
What
was.
else you got?
I
What else?
recently moved and I found my parents were in a band together till I was 7, and my mom sang and my dad played keyboards and bass, and I found their set list, which I thought was kind of funny. So they played stuff like Ramblin' Man, Allman Brothers, and
Wow.
Turner Grove, Doobie Brothers. I found that I saved it. It's kind of cute. It's probably like 30 years old.
Wow.
Nice.
That's
But
awesome.
anyway, I thought it was cute. I'll have to send them a picture of it. But yeah. All right. And
Maybe more of us should be laminated. We would last longer.
well, I don't know. That just made me think of like, did you ever have like a grandma who put plastic all over the couch?
All over the furniture. I have
Like-
had admittedly too many relatives that did that.
Like, talk about not really living, right? I mean, you won't even sit on your couch. Like,
Yeah.
You won't even unwrap your couch.
Yeah. No kidding.
speaking of,
Hey, it's no different with the lampshades. Remember that?
yeah,
Even
love
the
it.
wrapped lampshades.
I know. It's like, speaking of like an abundance mindset or like allowing yourself to enjoy your life, it's like, why don't you take the plastic off your couch?
Yeah, do me a favor and take the condoms off the lamps, would you?
Yeah, really.
I mean, let's have an actual full contact experience here.
Yeah.
So I want to tell you one of the songs that Helen Reddy did, which they had in, I believe they had it in Jesus Christ Superstar. I don't know how to love him. And you remember that? I don't know how to love him, how to be in this position. I don't remember all the lyrics,
You played it
but
for me.
it's I think we did listen to it maybe a couple of weeks ago before she passed. And but that song brings to mind, as we all know, music triggers memories. I think that the two things that trigger memory most are music and aromas, because you can smell something and instantly just be there in the memory. So for me, whenever I hear that song, it's 1972, and I have Becky Baird in my arms. I'll go ahead and say her name. I have her in my arms when we were learning to dance, and we had this thing called the slow dance.
Looking
right?
on the
So
night.
we were either shaking our groove thing or we were slow dancing, and we must have looked really lame because it didn't take a lot of talent to slow dance. Here's what it was.
Right.
And you had your arms around each other dreadfully. I mean, you weren't even sure where to place them. And am I bumping into her breasts? Is this weird? Is this too close? You don't really know, but you continue to sway back and forth, and they called it love. But those memories of the confidence building experience of connecting with someone I cared about, they never went away. And I don't say that to be poetic or deep, but it's the truth that she was one of the most beautiful girls in the school. In fact, I think at that time probably was labeled the most beautiful. And the fact that she was in my arms was French frying the circuitry of my brain. And I was able to thank her at our 20-year high school reunion and say, I don't know if you ever knew this. Oh, I remember that, Charles. I Believe in Music. I remember that song. But I said, I don't know if you realize that you've been with me every day of my life. And I called her outside into the hallway to get away from the big ballroom where everybody was once again standing awkwardly and dancing at the 20th reunion for high school. All these 38-year-olds, and only now they're doing it with their spouses, or some of them, I suppose, trying to hit on each other all those years later. But I pulled her outside and said, I've got something I really want to share with you. And I told her that my business is built on confidence. And I said, you were the most significant tool used in building my confidence early on in life. And I remember that when we were in each other's arms, I remember thinking, if you can do this, you can do anything. Even as a young boy, even at like 12 years old, 13, I think it was 13. But I just thought that anything was possible. And one of the songs that would play during those dances was I Don't Know How to Love Him by Helen Reddy. And so when I hear that song to this day, I get choked up, and I have that early on remembrance that anything is possible.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's just goes back to how our experience, like people can shape our perceptions of ourselves too, right?
Sure.
Yeah. Well, what did she say when you told her?
I looked up and she was crying.
Oh.
And she did say, I remember what she said. She said, Glenn, I can't believe you remembered me.
Uh-huh.
She said, I would have thought you would have forgotten. It's like, who actually does forget?
Wow.
I mean, if you're allowing moments to impact your life, there's no law that says you need to forget those things. Of course we don't forget. Time marches on, but those memories linger, especially if they were life altering. And at the end of the day, without trying to get woo-woo or deep here, I will say that the extent to which we allow something to alter us is entirely up to us. It's up to us to process a moment and to process it well. What are we doing with our lives to declare this next moment to be special? What are we doing to make it so? So it's beautiful. Hello, Megan.
Hey, Megan.
Glad to have you here tonight. Yeah, play another song for us, Kat.
I will.
It's Kat Hill live from Nashville.
Speaking of finding your gifts in life and moments that impact us, I remember the moment when I just for some reason I just decided in this particular moment that I wanted to learn to play guitar. And my mother played guitar. She plays classical guitar. And before this moment, it wasn't on my radar, but I just remember walking into the living room one day and I just looked over at this thing and I was like, I'm going to learn to play this. And then I won guitar lessons because I was working at a music store and happened to enter something on my lunch, and I got a guitar for Christmas, and it just changed the course of my whole life in terms of what I cared about. And so this song, I was sitting down with a friend of mine. We were talking about our love of music, and just how when you love something and you just put your heart into it, and without knowing where it's going to take you, it can take you in amazing places. When I started playing guitar, I didn't even know there was a place called Music City, and I live in Music City now. So follow the things that you love, and it can take you on an amazing journey. And I thought that's what this song's about. It's called Old Guitar. This old guitar is a part of me, and I don't know just where I'd be if my fingers never touched these strings and my soul never learned to sing. This old guitar is a part of me. When I was young, I knew it. I put my heart into it. I found my destiny, who I was born to be, and I never would have dreamed, but it would work for me when I gave my life to this old guitar. old guitar's been down summer roads, goes with me wherever I go. Seen 100 dive bar shows, anywhere the blacktop goes. This old guitar's been down some roads. When I was young I knew it, I put my heart into it. I found my destiny, who I was born to be, and I never could have dreamed what it would give to me when I gave my life to this old guitar. It's a spiritual connection I just can't define. I'm so glad that it found me back when I was 9. When I was young I knew it, I put my heart into it. I found my destiny, who I was born to be, and I never would have dreamed what it would give to me when I gave my life, when I gave my life to this old guitar. This old guitar is a part of me.
So I have a message for you, Kat, from my buddy Jay Fox, who's enjoying you immeasurably tonight. He texted me again and said, he said, I'm going to mention this podcast on my show. Tell Kat to listen in on 933 Classic Hits in Nashville, 6 to 10 a.m. He said he will do this on Monday, and he said I will be putting it in the 9 a.m. hour.
Oh, that's awesome. Wow.
Thank you.
Yeah, so he does a nationally syndicated show. It comes out on Westwood One. It is a national show, but he said he does Nashville itself independently.
How cool.
Friend of mine for many, many years.
Right.
Wow.
So, you never know who's in your audience, and Jay's a good egg. Thank you, Jay, for that. Much appreciated.
Yeah,
Much
thank
appreciated.
You,
Lots of love, brother.
thank you.
So we're just enjoying loving each other on a Saturday night, and music always soothes our souls.
I thought you were going to say you had a message from God.
He doesn't usually text me. Or should I have said she doesn't usually text me? Would that have worked better for you,
That
Kat?
would have worked better, yeah.
Whose song was that? Old guitar.
Mine and a friend of mine's.
Wow.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
Thank you. And it is a song about that, about like when you follow what you love, you never know how the world opens up for you, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you've seen that in your own lives, no doubt.
So before we go to the next song, Ken, do you have some thoughts about that? About when you follow? I mean, well, I think you just happened upon the essence of life, Kat, that when you follow what you love, I think that everything else just sort of falls in place to the extent that we trust it. But it's about saying yes to your bliss.
It is. You got to go all in on you. And I mean all in. It's scary, especially if there's any insecurities, which I've had many of those in my life. And like, what's crazy is once you start going all in on yourself, the magic happens. It just happens. It was, remember when Bernie Siegel, Dr. Bernie Siegel, he was on my show, and then you and I had a separate conversation on a phone call with him, Glenn, but he said something to the effect of that which is within you, when brought forth, will save you. And conversely, that which is within you, when not brought forth, will kill you.
Basically, will mark the undoing of you.
Yeah, that
Yep.
like, so when you're sitting back and you have these gifts and you don't use them, it can cause great harm in your life. Like, can you imagine how awful 24 would have been if Glenn ignored being an actor?
Brother, you're too sweet.
Or
I'm just going to sit
who
here
would
and
have
stare
played
at you.
General
That was such a nice.
Morshower?
What was that?
I said, who would have played General Morshower, like General Walls? That just doesn't even sound right. Like on Transformers. I mean, come on, man. So when you pursue your gifts, first off, there will always be things that pop up that make you doubt those gifts. But when you know deep in your heart, like, no, this is my gift. This is what I'm meant to do. This is it right here.
Yeah.
And then you just keep going. Eventually the stars line up. You have a nationally syndicated radio DJ show up and hear you and say, holy crap, I'm going to put this girl on the radio nationally. And, like Phil said, who would have saved Jack's ass if Glenn weren't there? Right. But like, follow your gift. Like that's what this is all about. This is Glenn and I trying to get Kat to follow the gifts, like go after them. That's what this is.
Yeah. Well, to speak to what you just said too, I feel like when you to me, it's like when you're aligned with what your purpose is or what your heart wants to do, that's fulfilling in and of itself. Like it means as much to me to play something for somebody as it does, hopefully, when they hear it, And I feel like what you said about when you're not doing that, it kills you because you're not. It's like
Right.
It's like a plant that doesn't get sunlight or something.
Exactly it. Yeah.
But and when you said too, like acting despite your insecurities, did you find that by just walking that path, your confidence overcame your self-doubt, or what?
I've personally found my stride in the last, I'm 52 and it's only been in the last 5 years that I found my stride. I always wanted to be like in the back of my mind, after reading Tony Robbins' book at the age of 22 or 23, I thought, I want to do that. I want to help people change their lives, find their greater purpose, find, and I never really pursued it, although there were little things along the way that kind of pushed me in that direction. And then when live streaming became a thing, I was like, you've heard me say it, I'll say it again. I was nervous as a hooker in church the first time I went live.
That's really beautiful, and I feel like that needs to be a Hallmark card for the.
But
holidays.
I was, and I was like, but you have all those voices in your head, and I just I did it anyway, and now it's a completely different existence for me, and it's Kat, all I know is this, is I have a feeling that it won't be long. And when I say long, I would say within the next, well, since the theme is 24, let's say in the next 24 months, there's going to be a concert with Kat, and Glenn and I are going to be contacted by her agent, and he's going to say, hey, we just want to let you know that Kat has VIP backstage passes for both of you.
For
So
$200 each.
they'll be at the will call window.
That's right.
No, sorry, but no pictures with her after the concert. I can't wait for that. I have that vision for you.
Thank you so much.
Charles told me the other night, Ken, stop picking on the hooker in church.
Yeah, Ken, not all hookers in church are bad.
I'm not saying they're bad. I said I was nervous as one.
You're not all hookers in church are nervous, I guess is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Hey,
Jeff
I feel-
says when you're given a gift and then realizing it, if you don't polish and honor that, you are wasting your gift and blessing. And that's what Dr. Bernie Siegel was saying. You know, he's like, look, man, if you don't use it, it's going to take you out. That gift will literally destroy you.
Wow.
So I feel compelled to share this with you both and the people that are tuned in. It's so true that life's not long, but don't let yours be an unplayed song.
Oh,
You like that?
I do.
That's-
Yeah.
I hope so, because I wrote it while you guys were talking.
wow.
I truly did. I just wrote that down. That's what came to me. That is not, that's the way spirit works. You know, I feel stuff and I just take a pen and start writing.
You did get a message from God.
Yeah, I guess I did.
That's awesome.
Can you read that one more time?
I said, it's so true that life's not long, but don't let yours be an unplayed song.
Wow.
I'm gonna.
Ooh, here we go. Little Neil Young, maybe?
Sure. Yeah. You, text me that. Maybe I can turn it into something.
Okay, will do.
So it was actually the Harvest Moon 2 nights ago.
Mm-hmm.
And you love this song.
I do love this song.
But just, happy October. A little Canadian shout out.
Well, what year was this song, Kat? Do you know?
Say it one more time, Glenn, what you just said.
What?
What you wrote
The
down.
poem that I wrote down? I'll see if I can do it from memory. It's so true that life's not long, but don't let yours be an unplayed song.
That's awesome.
But I write down my epiphanies when they come in. That's why I always have, no matter what, when I'm doing my lives, when I'm teaching my class, I always have this. Oh, someone's asking for one more time.
No, that's
Oh,
what
that was it. Okay.
Yeah.
So I always have a pen and I always just have a little piece of paper next to the computer. When we do the Ken and Glenn show all the time, if Ken is saying something that triggers a thought, rather than interrupting him, I'll simply be jotting down. And I think people think I'm elsewhere. It's the exact opposite. I'm entirely dialed in and I'm sitting here taking notes on what he's saying and specifically what it reminds me of or what it triggers that I then want to share. So I encourage you guys to watch our lives with a pad and pen in hand, not because you're writing down the things that we say, but rather you're writing down the things that you feel when you hear things. And this really will encourage you to take a deeper dive within yourself. It's a great way to take notes. When I've been coaching on stage, I always tell audiences, I don't want you to write down what I say. You know what? By the way, is my hat what inspired you to make those comments about 24, Ken? Maybe I'm going to go hatless. But if when we're listening to someone that is doing a talk, don't necessarily write down what they say, but write down the thing that you think of when they say something, because those are the notes that you'll always want to remember, is what you were thinking of and what you were feeling. We're ready for some Neil. We're ready for some Cat, actually.
Come a little bit closer. Hear what I have to say. like children sleeping. We can dream this night away. There's a full moon rising. Let's go dancing in the light. We know where the music's playing. Let's go out and feel the night. Cause I'm still in love with you. I wanna see you dance again. Cause I'm still in love with you. On this harvest moon. When we were strangers, I watched you from afar. When we were lovers, I loved you with all my heart. And it's getting late, and the moon is climbing high. And I wanna celebrate, see a cloud in your eye. Cause I'm still in love with you. I wanna see you dance again. Cause I'm still in love with you. On this harvest moon. I love the fire.
Playing through the heat.
Playing through the heat. Heating it up. It's heating up in here. Oh, thank you, Phil.
Oh, look at Susan's comment. I love Kat's version of this song.
Thank you.
Wow.
How about a little Tom Petty?
Sure. Tom Petty. I feel really lucky I got to see Tom Petty on his last tour through Nashville before he left this planet.
Mm.
Has anybody else seen him in concert? Or, no.
Never saw him.
Yeah, you don't realize when I went to the show, I just realized that he's got so many songs that are just part of the collective consciousness. Talk about a songwriter.
Remember when we did this on Glenn's birthday, and I was driving.
I know, that was funny. That was fun.
That was a blast.
By the way, Carolyn's 60th birthday is coming up
Yeah.
here on the 18th of October.
Yeah.
Cool. Oh, awesome. Are you gonna do like a Zoom birthday party like you or something?
We haven't figured out yet. By the way, Neil Young, I wanted to let you know, released that November 2nd of 1992.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Harvest Moon.
For some reason, I thought it might be older, but I guess not.
I'd love to tell you that that was in the top of my head, but Google helped immeasurably.
It's all right. That's all right. So you want to hear a Tom Petty song?
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see what do I got here. So did you get to talk to Tom when you worked with him or anything?
Yeah, a lot.
Oh, you did? Oh my God.
Yeah.
What was he like?
I mean, he was cool. He was pretty quiet for the most part, but I mean, and plus we were talking about the work. We weren't talking about other things. And that was fun. Yeah, I had the pleasure, for whatever reason, they always would sit me right next to Tom.
Wow.
Man, if I had known you at that time, I would have had to like just.
You'd like bring me over to the set on Fox.
Yeah, I would have been like, hey,
on the
Yeah.
Fox lot.
you need a sandwich or something? Let me know. I'll go pick you up here.
So you know who else was part of our cast that I was super tight with? Like Tom, I just knew in passing, but I was super tight with, and she was one of the most remarkable spirits. And again, someone who has crossed over to the other side now, but my dear cherished friend, Brittany Murphy. And I want to just tell you that one of my favorite things that Brittany did, and she did it on more than one occasion, she would wait out. We had a standard call time to record, and she would wait out for me to pull into the parking lot right next to the studio where we recorded. And when she saw that it was me, she would run, and I mean run, like full gallop, and go, Glenn, and dive into my arms. Now, mind you, I'm standing on cement. There's no grass there on the lot. It's all cement. So that if you don't catch her, she's eating it in a big way. And that's who Brittany was.
Brittany.
Ken, you talked about all in.
Yeah.
I will give Brittany Murphy credit of being the most all-in personality I've ever known in my life.
Wow.
That just blew you away with her kindness, with her energy, with her smile, with her essence, her presence. I'm just on fire. You had to have more of Brittany.
That's awesome.
You just had to have more. You were not going to be, she was like is it Oreo, the slogan? You can't have just one. You can't eat just one. I mean, you just want more when Brittany is around. And I think that's a wonderful thing to have said about you, is when people enjoy your presence so much, they just want to be in it.
So next time when I see you, I'll just come running. You better catch me, Ralph.
Well, now she was doing this with me probably 12 years ago. So that was a little younger me. If you want to risk your own ass to dive into my arms with me at 61, let's just say good luck with that.
We'll wear a helmet.
And I'll sure do my damnedest to try to catch you. But it's a fun memory.
I'll say,
it's a fun memory.
Ken told me to go all in, man, so.
Yeah.
So I think that those memories are the reason they come about is because we set ourselves up for them to come about.
Yep.
And it's either directly linked to this moment or indirectly, but as long as we go all in, which is what Ken's advice was, just the act of going in and that acknowledgement from the cosmos in which we reside, there are several lily pads that are revealed to us that we now can step on because the heavens are recognizing the fullness of our commitment. And when we do it, I really believe this to be true. I've lived it my whole life. I've taught it my whole life that, excuse me, these lily pads, I'm speaking metaphorically, obviously, but I'll call them lily pads of opportunity. They come up. And now when we step onto one of them, they are pressure activated. And as we press down on that experience, several more come up. But it's all responding to that initial commitment to go all in on the belief that our life makes a difference. And suddenly you're having experiences come your way that from the banks of the river, before you got in to take a deep dive, they might have seemed unimaginable. But from within the river, they're quite imaginable. And it all makes sense once you commit to the swim, you know?
It's interesting that it sounds like along one's path that even though it is your sole purpose or the reason why you're here, that it's essential that you make that commitment. You know, like
Yeah.
it sounds like that's the key to your happiness anyway. But what do you think that is?
What do I think specifically?
Why do you
What
think
is
that is that commitment that you have to make that commitment if it's already kind of in your nature? I guess it's just your conviction.
Well, I think it's life's way of conducting a litmus test is we've been given it all. And now what are you going to do with it? It's life's way of saying, hey, now it's your turn. Right? I've given you these gifts.
Right.
I've given you the world in which to live. It's your turn now to do something with them.
Right.
And that's certainly our gift back. But I've just noticed that there's a fairly large number of people who are sitting around waiting for something to happen. And so they're waiting instead of creating. And things happen when we position ourselves for them to happen.
Right.
That's all.
It surprises me how many people actually do not go all in on their gifts, their dreams. They allow fear to hold them back.
But what are people so afraid of?
Right.
I mean, I don't disagree with you, Ken. I've made the same observation, but I think it can be put very quickly into perspective by just the remembrance that, hey, dude, we're on the clock.
Yep.
We're on the clock. And the fact that we're on the clock does increase focus and certainly urgency.
Yeah.
And I don't mean urgency in the sense of panic, but just urgency of whatever it is you've been wanting to do. It's time to quit wanting and move into doing. It's time to quit pursuing and get on with the having. Right? So sitting around doing a lot of wanting is, I guess, a nice start, but it's certainly not it's not enough to only sit and want. We've got to go beyond wanting.
I agree.
And I think that who was it that said up here earlier that a song was being drafted? Megan said, "You're drafting a new song, Glenn and Kat, called Lily Pads."
Lily pads.
I think that's true. And hello, Greg Parton. I'm glad you're here, brother. Greg listening from the LA area tonight. Yeah, play on. Is this our Tom Petty
And
music?
when you find that bliss, that gift, that thing that lights your soul on fire, don't back down.
Ah, nice segue.
Well, I won't back down. No, I won't back down. You can stand me up at the gates of hell, but I won't back down. No, I stand my ground. Don't be turned around. And I keep this world from dragging me down. Gonna stand my ground, and I won't back down. Hey, baby, there ain't no easy way out. Hey, I won't back down, and I stand my ground. Well, I know what's right. I got just one life in a world that keeps on pushing me around, and I stand my ground, and I won't back down. Hey, baby, there ain't no easy way out. Hey, I won't back down, and I stand my ground. Hey, peace, love, and rock and
And
roll.
they're going wild coast to coast.
That was awesome.
Thank you. You got a good radio voice.
She's a good girl. Do you know that?
Loves her
Loves
mama,
mama,
loves Jesus, and America too.
I don't
She's
know.
a good girl, crazy about Elvis, loves horses and a boyfriend too.
I gotta learn that one. I don't know that one yet. Oh,
You got a nice group of folks listening to you tonight, sweet girl.
right on.
Yeah.
Do you want to hear a funny song?
Sure.
Grocery shopping?
Oh, yes, please. One of my faves that there's a little story to.
Yeah.
Please share that story.
This is the public service announcement portion of the evening. Don't try this at home. Yeah, this song is a fun Glenn story. It was fun for us. When I first wrote it, Glenn was in town and we were doing oh, nice. Oh, you can keep him up there with me. Yeah.
His arm's cut off, unfortunately.
Hey, those of you coming in late, please share this out.
Me and Charlie.
We're trying to set a world record for late night concert.
Yeah, he's got my head in his hand now. Okay, now I look like I have no neck. So yeah, when I first wrote the song, Glenn was visiting, and we did a late night Whole Foods ice cream run, and there's a whole bunch of ice cream in this song, and I just have a good memory of like busting out this song when we were standing in the aisle at Whole Foods in front of all the Ben and Jerry flavors. All right, well, I was wandering through the frozen aisle with Ben and Jerry on my mind. Cherry Garcia, chocolate fudge brownie, or bourbon pecan pie. Strawberry cheesecake, peanut butter, half-baked, coffee, buzz, buzz, buzz. I couldn't decide, so I picked up a pint of every flavor that there was. So don't go grocery shopping when you're high. You tend to spend more money on the things you shouldn't buy. The healthy food that was on my list, well, I just kissed goodbye. Don't go grocery shopping when you're high. I got some whipped cream and waffles instead of kale and my leafy greens. A bag of chips and some Oreo cookies and a can of refried beans. Holy moly, guacamole, grab me that pizza supreme. Toss it in the cart with blueberry tart. I'm counting my calories. Don't go grocery shopping when you're high. You tend to spend more money on the things you shouldn't buy. The healthy food that was on my list, well, I just kissed goodbye. Don't go grocery shopping. Don't go grocery shopping when you're high. The lady at the checkout, when she scanned my munchies in, gave me that all-knowing grin, and I replied, I'm just shopping for a friend. Don't go grocery shopping when you're high. You tend to spend more money on the things you shouldn't buy. The healthy food that was on my list, well, I just kissed goodbye. Don't go grocery shopping, no, don't go grocery shopping, man. Don't go grocery shopping when you're high. Take my advice. Don't do it. Just don't do it. Yeah. Not that Tom would know anything about that.
I love that song. It's always been one of my faves.
Don't go grocery shopping when you're high. Yeah, one of my friends sent that to Ben from Ben and Jerry's and wrote me back and said that Ben gave it 2 thumbs up. So it gets a thumbs up from Ben.
That's awesome.
We've got a lot of comments that are just beautiful.
Yeah.
Phil says it's self-doubt, isn't it, Ken and Glenn, that holds them back. We are guided by our need to be who we perceive ourselves to be, and anything that conflicts, that is a challenge to bust through. I love it, Phil. Well said. Beginning of greatness. Stop wanting, start doing. Hear, hear.
Yeah. Well, it seems like our it's just our conditioning that, you know, we have to, in my opinion, overcome. Like Ken, you're talking about the voices in our heads. Like that was half that. Oh, the voices in our heads. Those weren't even ours. You know.
Yeah.
When I'm singing, is it loud enough? Because I can turn it up a little bit.
It is.
Okay.
No, I think your levels are pretty good.
I have people sleeping nearby, my wife and daughter, so I have mine turned down a little. That might be the problem.
Okay.
Robert says, when I was drinking, that then new service of home delivery from my favorite Italian restaurant meant calamari linguine could be delivered, and it often was. After that 4 or 5 months, after that 4 or 5 month binge, the pizza boxes were stacked up to the ceiling in my kitchen, and I have very high ceilings. A proper ladder is needed for my 5'8" self to reach those light bulbs.
Oh my God. Yeah, don't go grocery shopping or online shopping when you're high either.
Online shopping when you're high. Well, there's your next song.
I know. Don't go online shopping.
On shopping when you're high, and it's just a whole different set of lyrics with
You
the
wanna-
same tune.
You want to? Are you guys cool with wrapping it up soon,
Sure. I'll play.
Glenn?
Yeah, well, I know you were tired coming in, Ken. I thought it was beautiful that you set aside some time for Kat tonight.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was just thinking to myself, I love you guys.
we love you
Thank
too.
you.
I love you back, honey.
I'll play just a couple, 2 more tunes to send you out with some good vibes and inspiration.
Do you have one called "I Love You, Ken and Glenn" by chance, or no?
I love you, Ken and Glenn. Let me tell you, when I first met y'all, it changed my life. I need to work on the rest of the words, but I'll get back to you.
Okay.
But so no, I don't have one yet. Speaking of songs, you know, and somebody asked me the other day what my favorite song was, and this is definitely a song I wish I'd written, but you're gonna know what it is, because this song I do know when it was written. It was written in 1971 by John Lennon, and it still is relevant today, I feel. So this song is for all the dreamers out there. Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try. No hell below us, above us only sky. Imagine all the people living for today. You imagine there's no countries. It isn't hard to do. Nothing to kill or die for. No religion too. Imagine all hope someday you will join us, and the world will live as one. Imagine no possessions. I wonder if you can. No need for greed or hunger. A brotherhood of man. Imagine all the people living life in peace. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you will join us, and the world will live as one. Yeah.
Nice. Will you give us a going out tune?
Yeah, for sure. I got
A good night tune?
this is a tune that everyone.
Everybody's asking, where can we buy your albums?
My website, you can get some. You got that there. Thank you. You got some tunes.
TheCatHillBand.com.
That's it. And you can just go to the music page, throw in your email. It'll email you some tunes. And I am going to be working on a record. So stay tuned. More to come.
Awesome.
And this song, I love this song. Just send you out on some good vibes. I like to end on this song. So sing along if you know the words. And I just have to make sure this is tuned because it'll bug me. Sing along if you know the words. And thank you for joining Ken and Glenn and I tonight. Think about it. There must be higher loves down in the heart of hidden in the stars above. Without it, life is wasted time. Look inside your heart, and now look inside mine. Things look so bad everywhere in this whole world. What's fair? We walk the line and we try to see, falling behind what could be. Bring me a higher love. Bring me a higher love. Oh, bring me a higher love. Where's this higher love I keep thinking of? Worlds are turning and we're just hanging on, facing our fears and hanging out there alone. A yearning, and it's real to me. There must be something that's feeling for me. Things look so bad everywhere in this whole world. What's fair? We walk the line and we try to see, falling behind what could be. Bring me a higher love. Bring me a higher love. Oh, bring me a higher love. Where's this higher love I keep thinking of? Where's this higher love I keep thinking of? Yeah.
Very nice, darling.
You're awesome.
Thank you.
So
Everybody watching's awesome. Thank you.
I have the lyrics for the opening of the Ken and Glenn song, which we'll be hearing in the near future. It says, I love you deeply, Ken and Glenn. I heard that you were both sweet men. They say October's the month of fright. I will listen to you both every night. Oh, come on with it. Come on with it.
That's awesome, dude. That's awesome.
Oh, thank you, Kat, for blessing us with your song. And thank you guys for, and your energy too, Kat. Not only your music, but your energy, your style, your grace, your tonality.
Oh.
You're an angel. And we recognize that. And I recognize that about my dear brother right there, who I have gone live with so many times. You too, my friend, are an angel. And I'm glad to bear witness to you both. Really, really appreciate that.
Wow.
Thank you guys for tuning in. We're going to take you out with our video that Ken had made up a few weeks ago, and we enjoy that. And I want to give you a little plug. I want to remind you that every Sunday, not just tomorrow night, but every Sunday, we go live at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 Central, 6 Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific time with the Ken and Glenn Show with a guy named Scott. That'll be tomorrow night. So come join us then. Kat, do you have any parting words for everyone?
Thank you for tuning in tonight. And just, it was a pleasure to play music, and I love y'all.
Thank you, honey.
We'll see
Ken,
you guys tomorrow night at 8 o'clock.
Ken's ready for a mattress. Love you, bro.
I gotta go. I'm out.
Good night.
You guys.
Thanks.